Okay, so are you ready to dive into a mystery? One that has haunted a small town for 25 years?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're talking about Pine Haven, Maine.
Okay.
Um, and the story of Eli Morgan.
Okay.
It's, imagine a 10-year-old boy just vanishes
Right.
into thin air while on a camping trip with
Wow.
friends.
Yeah.
It's the kind of story that sends chills down your spine. And trust me,
Yeah,
this one has twists and turns you'd never imagine.
I bet.
So,
Well, and what's so fascinating about this case is how it's like woven into the town's identity.
oh,
It's
really?
not just an unsolved case, it's like a living memory that, shapes how people view the woods the night, even their own community.
Yeah, it's 1999, the height of summer Eli's camping with his friends,
Right.
Mark, Ryan, and Dylan.
Okay.
They're out in Black Hollow, which is this really densely wooded area just outside of town.
I see.
I think campfires, ghost stories,
Yeah, the whole summer camp vibe.
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But just after midnight, Eli tells his friends that he needs to take a bathroom break.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's the last anyone sees him.
Gone.
Yeah, the search for Eli was massive. I mean, hundreds of volunteers, National Guard bloodhounds, they had everything. They searched
Oh.
every inch of those woods, but it was like searching for a ghost. I mean, after a mile into the woods, Eli's trail just vanished.
Poof, gone. Like the woods just swallowed him whole.
Right?
You'd think with all those people, he'd find something, right?
Yeah.
A shoe, a backpack,
Yeah.
anything. But nothing.
And that's what makes this case so strange, right?
Right.
It's just baffling.
Totally. And then,
Yeah.
just when the case seemed to hit a dead end, there's a chilling twist.
Oh, really?
Days after Eli disappeared, they found fresh barefoot footprints miles from where he was last seen.
Fresh footprints. Days later. That's creepy.
I know, right? So someone else was out there in those woods.
Right.
And get this, those footprints led to a secret hidden under a bunch of vines.
What?
A cellar door.
A cellar door. So there was like a hidden structure there or something?
And nobody in town even remembers a house ever being in that spot.
That's so weird.
I know. So creepy.
Yeah, the discovery of that cellar door just adds a whole other layer to this, right? It's not just a missing kid anymore. It's this whole hidden world.
Right.
A secret buried underneath this, seemingly ordinary town.
Exactly.
And to make it even creepier inside the cellar, scrawled on the wall in charcoal was a single eye just staring back at them.
A single eye. What do you think it means? Like a message? A warning? Or was it something more sinister?
Yeah, I mean, that eye quickly became like a symbol of the mystery. It fueled speculation and it kind of wove its way into local folklore.
Oh, yeah.
Some people saw it as a sign of evil, others as a portal to something unknown, but the meaning, like so much else in this case, remains totally elusive.
It's devastating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, his mother, Denise, she dedicated her life to finding her son.
Right.
But the search just consumed her, and, tragically, she passed away in 2006.
Oh, wow.
And his friends,
The boys who were with him that night.
yeah, they left Pine Haven.
Really?
They've never spoken publicly about what happened, which just, adds to the mystery.
Of course. And here's where things get really unsettling.
Okay.
Over the years, people have reported strange things in Black Hollow.
Like what?
Hikers hear disembodied whispers. A hunter saw a barefoot boy who looked just like Eli years later.
Wow.
It's like the woods themselves are trying to tell us something.
It's like something is lingering out there.
Right, and they say that it's best not to answer
What?
if you hear those whispers in Black Hollow.
Oh, that's creepy.
But here's another twist.
Okay.
A group of teenagers were exploring the ruins of what might have been an old settlement in Black Hollow,
Okay.
and they stumbled upon something buried near that cellar door.
Don't tell me it was.
Eli's flashlight.
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
The discovery of that flashlight years later just brings the mystery back to life.
I know.
Was it just lost, or was it placed there? And if it was placed there, by whom?
Like something straight out of a horror movie, right? This flashlight just buried there years later. What does it mean? Was it like a message? Or some cruel joke?
I mean, the flashlight is a real link to Eli, like a reminder that he was real, that he was here. But it also makes the mystery even deeper.
Right.
Like, what really happened that night in Black Hollow?
And it gets even weirder.
Really?
So remember Eli's sister Claire?
Uh-huh.
Well, she went back to Pine Haven on the 24th anniversary of his disappearance.
Wow.
She wanted closure, like maybe a chance to say goodbye.
Right.
The only way she could. So she went hiking in the woods, like deeper than she'd ever gone before. And she heard a voice calling her name, a child's voice.
It's like a story about grief, and loss, and the lengths we'll go to for the people we love.
And get this, when she turned to see who was calling her name, she saw a boy who looked exactly like Eli.
No way.
He's just standing there watching her. Then he vanished, like a wisp of smoke.
It really makes you think about the power of belief, and hope, and the bond between siblings.
Okay, so we've got a missing boy, a secret cellar, a creepy eye, a flashlight found years later, and a sister who thinks she saw her brother. Where do we even start with this?
That is the million-dollar question. The sources we have paint a picture of a town just wrestling with the unexplained. A place where reality and folklore and whispers of the supernatural all blend together. But maybe if we look close enough, we can find some answers.
The logical part of me wants to say there's got to be a rational explanation for all of this, right? Maybe Eli got lost, died out in the elements, or maybe there was something more sinister, but then there's the footprints, the cellar, the eye, the flashlight Claire's encounter. It's like the woods are playing tricks on us.
Yeah, and that's what makes this so interesting, right? We're not just solving a crime, we're exploring like the limits of belief, what we think is possible, what happens when we're faced with something that just doesn't make sense, that we can't explain.
I mean, we're hardwired to look for patterns, make sense of the world around us. So when something like this happens, something that just doesn't fit, we try to fill in the blanks. We make up stories, we come up with theories, we search for meaning.
Right, but what if in this case there isn't a neat and tidy explanation? What if the truth is much weirder than we could possibly imagine?
Okay, now you've got me hooked. You're saying we should consider possibilities outside of the ordinary.
I think we have to, like those whispers in the woods. Some people might say it's just their imagination running wild or the wind. But what if it's something more? Echoes of something else, something we don't understand.
Ghosts, spirits.
Maybe. Or something even more profound. There are theories about Black Hollow being a place where the line between worlds is thin, like a point where our reality and something else intersect.
Whoa, hold on. Parallel dimensions. Alternate timelines. Are we stepping into an episode of The Twilight Zone here?
It's not as crazy as it sounds. Think about it. Lots of cultures have stories about places where the spirit world and our world collide, places where the laws of nature don't apply. And Black Hollow, with its history, its secrets, its energy, it definitely fit that description.
So you're saying that Eli might have stumbled into one of these other realms?
It's a possibility. What if he didn't just disappear physically, but slip through a crack in reality? It would explain why no one could find him, why his trail just vanished.
And the sightings. Could those be glimpses of him trying to get back?
It's a chilling thought to be trapped between worlds, a prisoner of dimensions.
This is blowing my mind. We've gone from a missing kid to interdimensional travel and ancient symbols in like 5 minutes. But if Eli is stuck in another dimension, is there any way to bring him back?
That's the question that haunts this case, and the sources we have don't give us a clear answer. But there's one more possibility we should consider, one that might shed some light on Eli's fate. And it has to do with the very nature of time.
Time travel. Now we're really going down the rabbit hole.
Just hear me out. We've talked about Eli being lost in space in another dimension, but what if he's lost in time?
Time travel. Okay, I'm trying to stay open-minded here, but that's a pretty big leap. How does that fit into all of this?
Well, let's go back to the facts. A boy vanishes without a trace, like he's lost to time, and then years later there are sightings, whispers, even that encounter with his sister, like he's somehow outside of the normal flow of time, like he's existing in multiple moments at once.
So you're saying Eli might be traveling through time, like some kind of chrono kid popping in and out of different eras?
It's a really interesting idea, and it's not as far-fetched as you might think. There are physicists who believe that time isn't this rigid, straight line.
Okay.
They say that under certain conditions, it might be possible to bend time or even break the rules of time completely.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. If Eli is caught in some kind of time warp, could that be why his trail went cold? Like maybe he didn't just disappear geographically, but in the time too.
Exactly. Instead of moving through time in a straight line, he might be jumping between different points, appearing and disappearing randomly. He'd be like a phantom, flickering in and out of our perception.
That would explain why people have reported seeing him over the year. Right, he's like a ghost from the past, but a ghost who's still alive, existing somewhere in the maze of time.
And the woods themselves, Black Hollow, might be the key to this whole time distortion thing. Maybe there's something about that place, its energy, its history, that creates these temporal anomalies.
Wait a minute, I remember reading something about Black Hollow being built on the ruins of an old settlement. Could that be connected to this?
You're onto something. Remember those stories about a witch living in the woods, the old foundations hidden under the trees? What if those are leftovers from a time when people understood these time forces? Maybe even knew how to use them.
Are you suggesting that Black Hollow could be some kind of ancient time portal, a gateway to the past, or even the future?
It's a bold theory, I'll admit, but we're dealing with a mystery that goes beyond any normal explanation. And maybe, just maybe, Eli stumbled onto something he shouldn't have. An artifact, a symbol, a place where the lines between times are blurred.
And that single eye drawn in the cellar, could that be a clue? a warning from the past about messing with time.
It's all speculation, of course, but it's a fascinating thought, isn't it? That under those woods, under all the layers of time and folklore, there's a secret that could change how we see reality.
It's incredible and scary at the same time. If Eli is lost in time, is there any way to bring him back?
That's the big question, and one we just can't answer for sure. But maybe if we can understand Black Hollow and its connection to time, we might find a way.
So what does all of this mean for Eli? Is he just drifting through time forever?
Not necessarily. Remember, we're starting to realize that time might be more fluid, more changeable than we thought. There might be ways to influence these time currents to create a bridge back to Eli's time, to our time. It's a long shot, but there's still hope.
Listeners, the story of Eli Morgan is more than just a missing person case. It's a journey into a mystery that's tangled up with folklore, the unexplained, and the very fabric of time.
This deep dive has asked us to think bigger, to embrace the unknown, and to consider that the universe might be far stranger and far more amazing than we ever imagined.
What do you think happened to Eli? Is he lost in the woods, trapped in another dimension, or adrift in time? Share your thoughts, your theories, your insights, because maybe, just maybe together, we can solve this enduring mystery.